My name is Sean George, and I'm here giving a persuasive speech today. So I'm here with my audience, and my parents are actually on FaceTime right now. So this is the audience.
Hello, I'm Trevor Wooler.
Hello, my name is Loudon Wist.
There you go.
And I'm Alex.
Alright guys, here we go. Okay. John Matthews loved his grandchildren. In the late summer afternoon, John was watching his grandson Jacob play in a baseball tournament. It was midday and the sun was at its hottest point. Before the baseball game, John was experiencing some minor chest pains, but after some time, they went away. After hours of sitting and watching Jacob play baseball, his chest pains returned, only stronger than before. After a few minutes of intense chest pain, he excused himself from his family that was watching the game with him. Minutes went by, and John's family started to worry. John's oldest son, Drew, went off to go look for him. Drew searched around the baseball field and couldn't find John. Drew decided to look in the bathroom. And once Drew entered the bathroom, he saw John lying on the floor and not moving. Drew noticed he wasn't breathing or responding to his shouting. Drew called 911 and sat there helplessly. He didn't know CPR and waited for medical professionals to take care of his father. 10 minutes passed and the paramedics finally arrived. Once the paramedics arrived, they quickly realized that they arrived too late. So according to the American Heart Association, 70% of Americans may feel helpless to act during a cardiac emergency because they either do not know how to administer CPR or their training has significantly lapsed. So I'm a certified emergency medical technician. I am currently a member of the Utah Valley University Emergency Response Team, and our duty and our responsibility is to provide efficient and effective pre-hospital care to any patient, any student, instructor, teacher, or visitor that is on campus. We are also instructed to provide efficient care, efficient traumatic or medical care. So in the past there have been cardiac emergencies, and it's important that we are prepared for these emergencies. So the purpose of my speech today is to influence you to be prepared during these cardiac emergencies. And for me, in order to be prepared for these emergencies, it's important that we know what CPR is, that we know the benefits of knowing CPR, and why, and what can we do to learn CPR after this speech. So the first step was, what is CPR? CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR is an emergency procedure that is used when someone's heart stops beating. Including in the CPR process, there are a couple of things that are very important. There's chest compressions, and then there's ventilation or rescue breaths. So the purpose of the chest compressions is to manually circulate blood throughout the person's head and other organs that require blood. So when we are compressing the chest of the victim that's heart stopped beating, we are manually pumping the heart, so to make sure that blood's going throughout the body. The second one is rescue breaths. So during an emergency, a victim usually isn't breathing. So what our responsibility to do is to provide rescue breaths to our patient that's lying on the floor. And what we do is we simply put our mouth on top of theirs and we give 2 rescue breaths. So now that we kind of understand what CPR is, it's important that we understand the benefits of CPR and why we should learn it. So the American Heart Association states that home is exactly where 88% of heart attacks occur. About 92% of sudden cardiac arrest victims die before reaching the hospital. Many victims appear healthy with no known heart disease or other risk factors. Failure to act in a cardiac emergency can lead to unnecessary deaths. Effective bystander CPR provided immediately after sudden cardiac arrest can double or even triple the chance of survival for the victim. And the life you save with CPR is likely someone you know and love. So preparation is very important. Let's give an example. So a math student that is wanting to learn or to be successful in a math test, he can't just go in and take his test and think he's going to be successful. He's going to have to put some time, and he's going to have to actually study for the test in order to be successful. The same goes with being prepared for CPR certification. One of the statistics that I read earlier stated that many victims appear healthy with no known heart disease or other risk factors. So we never know when cardiac emergencies are going to occur. So it's important that we be prepared for these events, and we can help the ones that we know and love. So now that we kind of understand the benefits and the importance of CPR, we should definitely do something about it. So there are many places that we can learn CPR. We can simply go online at the American Heart Association or at the American Red Cross, and there's actually YouTube videos on those websites that provide simple instructions that give CPR, just kind of simple instructions. We can also go to our local hospital. At Intermountain Healthcare, actually, they do provide free courses of CPR. They just give the basics of CPR. And what you can do is you can attend there with your family, and the whole family can learn the importance of CPR and the proper steps of giving CPR to your loved ones, if needed. The fire department also provides classes at times. There are times, like, I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes the fire department will go to schools or they'll go to office buildings and they'll give free lectures of CPR. And you can also learn CPR at Utah Valley University at the Utah Fire and Rescue Academy. There they do offer courses. And you can actually enlist to be an emergency medical technician. You can learn much more than just CPR. So going back to that first situation, John Matthews attended his grandson's baseball game with his family. Before he attended the game, he experienced some minor chest pains. After time, the pain slowly disappeared. After a couple of hours watching the game, John's chest pain returned, only stronger. He dismissed himself from his family and went off to the bathroom. After a few minutes, John's son Drew was worried. He looked for his father and eventually found his father in the bathroom lying on the floor. Drew checked for responsiveness, immediately called 911, and shortly after calling 911, he started the CPR process. After 10 minutes of doing the CPR process of doing chest compressions and ventilation, the paramedics finally showed up and transported his father, John, to the hospital. John's life was saved because of his son's CPR certification. And in order to be prepared for these situations, it's important that we understand what CPR is, what are the benefits of CPR, and what can we do after the speech to learn CPR. In one of my statistics, it said that the victim you save, or the life you save in CPR is likely someone you love. And so in order to protect your loved ones, in order to protect your neighbors or your family, it's important that you know CPR so you can be prepared for these situations. Thank you and have a good night.
All right, that's it.